Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be installing Kubectl, kubelogin, and K9s on our Mac operating system to connect to the Nautilus cluster on NRP. So the first two things we're going to need is a web browser and our terminal application. So I like to use iTerm, but feel free to use whatever terminal application you like. And on our browser, we're going to visit the NRP website on nrp.ai, and we're going to log in from the top corner here, and we're going to use our campus single sign-on with CI logon to authenticate with the cluster. And once you're logged in and you can see your name here, you can go to our documentation. So docs takes you to docs, get access. First part is how to get access to the cluster and be part of a namespace. This video assumes you've already done that and you want to install kubectl. So you can see the blue text here is links that you can click on. So first thing is to install kubectl. So once you hit the install button, this opens the official Kubernetes documentation on how to install it on macOS, as you see here. We're gonna be installing with Homebrew. And because it's the easiest way to install, and B, we're gonna be using Homebrew for the next step as well. So we're gonna copy over this command and run it. Now, there's two things here that might happen. First of all, you might already have Homebrew, and this command will run and install kubectl, or you might not have Homebrew. And then to install it, you can see here, it says if you are installing with macOS and using Homebrew. So this is a link. If you click on it, it takes you to Homebrew's webpage. And to install it, it's a simple one command that they've already provided. So you can see this line here, there's a copy button. This is a copy button. You click on it, this copies it to your clipboard. Now you can go back to your terminal, paste this, run it. This password is your local computer password because you're installing it. So you're going to give it your local Mac password. This is not from Nautilus or NRP. Then it's going to prompt you. You're going to hit enter. You're going to install it. After Homebrew is installed, you should be able to run it instantly. So you should be able to run brew dash help. This will show you brew example commands. That means it is installed. If for some reason you can't see it here, then you can run it. If you open a new terminal window and run brew, you should be able to run it. Now our next step is to install kubectl. Just brew install kubectl, copy, paste. And if at any point in reaching this point you get prompted to installing any developer tools on your Mac OS, then you need to do so to be able to run these tools. After you've installed it, you can run kubectl version dash dash client, and once you run that, you can see you have a client version. This does not need to match the cluster itself in this version. You can run any kubectl client version. Next step is installing kubelogin. Again, I click on the link, which is here or here. Takes me to kubelogin. This is official kublogin's repository and their steps to installing it. You can see for macOS, it lists Homebrew or Crew, two different ways to install it. Since we already are comfortable using Homebrew, we're gonna copy over this command, run it. Again, when it prompts for my password, it needs my local password. You can see for me, it's complaining because it's already installed. Once this is installed, you should be able to use kubelogin. And to verify that, what you're gonna do is follow the rest of the steps. So these notes here are for different OSs and platforms. We cover those in different videos, but for us, we reached step 3, which is downloading the config file. You can see downloaded as config. So first step, download it. Then we're going to put it in our local home directory, then .cube. So here's my terminal. You can see this is my local home directory. If I run echo $ all caps home, this is my local directory on my OS, /users / my username. And I need to put it in a directory called .cube. So I need to make sure this directory exists. So make directory -b. This tells it create this directory if it doesn't already exist. And I can either specify it by saying $/ /home, then .cube, or I can instead use the tilde, which is basically saying my home directory, which is different for every user, and those two things are the same. Now my .cube directory exists. Now I can just move my config file from my downloads directory, so that's mv space original location and new location. Now I can follow the rest of the steps. Now if I hit kubectl config get contexts, it should say cluster node list as one of the options. It might be multiple options if you authenticate to multiple clusters. In that case, if you want to set node list as the default, you follow this command right here and paste it, switch to context node list. Now this is the main command here, kubectl get nodes. This tells kubectl to get me the list of servers, so hosts, so nodes. So when I run it, it should list all the nodes in the cluster. And if you're running this for the first time, I'm going to show you how it runs for the first time by running the command that clears my login. And you don't need to do that unless you have a reason to clear your login. But if I run kubectl oidc-login clear, or clean, my bad, this cleans the token cache. And now I can run kubectl get nodes. This is how it runs for the first time when you're brand new. You run it, it authenticates with the browser. Now I can close this window and give it a second. It lists my nodes on the cluster. At this point that you're authenticated with the cluster, you have everything you need. An extra step is setting a default namespace. So copy over this command right here, step 7, and setting your own default namespace. Not mine, this is mine. I'm just using it to set it as a default. Now when I run kubectl get pods, it assumes I mean this. Otherwise, I can explicitly specify a namespace. So I can either use the default, which should be mine, or by mine I mean I'm part of it, or I can explicitly define which namespace I'm telling it to list the pods from with -m. Now, what we're gonna do here as an extra step, if you scroll down to the bottom on this page, you can see one way to interact with Kubernetes is K9s, which makes things easier. I'm just gonna show you very quickly how to install it. If you click on the link, this is their official website. You can scroll down documentation installation. You can see very similarly, they have a brew install command that you can just copy, paste, install. If it prompts you for password, it means your local password, and just wait on it. Similarly, I can now run the K9s command. You can see --help showed me the different commands. I can run K9s-n /mfsada. This is my namespace. I'm specifying it explicitly. And you can see here, this is my namespace. And this is a whole new command line tool that shows me more information and easier to read interface to interact with Kubernetes. And the rest of the videos are going to be discussing different platforms and how to install kubectl and K9s on them.